Yes, sir.
Very good. I think we should take 10-15 minutes time between the record stop and start. So like yesterday, all three parts recorded successful and uploaded. Day before yesterday, only two are recorded, two are not recorded. Not means recorded but not saved. For saving also you have to give some time. The second one also good. Now the final part, what it is. Very good. Guys, this is a server, a Windows server. 2022 server it is. Okay, data center evaluation. Okay, so this is a server. Server name is WinS1. The domain name is Contoso.com. This is my client. This is my client, a Windows 10 client. Already you can see Ankush is already logging here. Password must be changed. So this is password expiry. User password expiry because the passwords are generally 42 days time for a user passwords in the domain by default. Okay. This Ankush is logging into the client system. So, but where is this Ankush located? In our domain controller only. See Active Directory, users and computers. Okay. See in domain controller in the server, you can see Ankush name. This Ankush account is I created in the domain controller and where I'm logging in the domain computer. So this is a domain computer. See the settings. Accounts. You can see the username and domain name, not computer name. Contest is a domain name and login name. Domain name, login name. This is username. Okay. And you go to the other settings, go to the system, about your computer, right? This is the my system computer name. Okay. And is a part of domain. You can also try this one. Yeah, I can't do that one because if I want to do any changes, I have to log in as a administrator, domain administrator. Username, password is required to do any settings or changes. But to show you guys, this is computer name. See, it is showing domain name. This is my computer name. This is my domain name. This system is a domain computer. My computer name is a member of this domain. Who is a domain controller? This is the domain controller. See the computers. See, this is WinC1. Who is WinC1? This is the WinC1. So this domain controller has WinC1 means computer name and domain username, domain computer and domain username stores in the domain controller. Whenever the user computer, domain controller authenticates. We are going to create a fresh account into the domain controller. Remember, this is a domain controller. Okay, look at this part. Okay. Domain controller. Whose name I will take it? Simple, easy name. This is full name. Okay. So I'm going to create an account. In this view, right click, new user. The name is Sujita, is a login name. Okay. And this is complete name. Next, this is domain name. Password. Commonly I give password for every user. Admin 123. And if you see there is option, user must change password at class login. For example, you join in an organization. In organization, your HR send your information to the system administrator. Okay. Ask for create a new user account. So what they will do it, go to the domain controller. So create a user account and give a user password. The password is common dummy password. So what admin do it, you check the password like this. User must change password at next login. Means you receive a dummy password. So first time you log in, okay, so you have to change the password again. Okay, immediately you have to change the password as per your requirements. This is user cannot change password. User himself, user itself cannot change their password. Only admin can able to change the password. But I didn't give in that one. I unchecked that option. User password never expiry. Normally by default, as per the default settings, 42 days for a user password. In an organization, they will change it. They don't go with 42 days. They will go for 180 days or 365 days or never password change expiry. I don't want any my users password should not be expired. I will select password never expire. If I don't select it, 42 days by default setting. That is also can be changed. Account disabled. Today is a Friday, Monday is a joining time. So from Monday onwards, it is effective. Today you cannot log in. So I will put a disable. I create an account, disable. So Monday, I will enable this one. Okay. Like these options. Next, finish. Account is created. You want to modify any account details like addresses, adding an address, account informations, profiles, other things, you can able to do it also. Okay. Yeah, one more is there that is called how to reset the password is also there. We'll see that. Now, this is the user. I have only one client system for in this entire domain. So we'll sign out from the current user. So where is the account created? In the server, the domain controller, where I'm trying to log in my client system. Click on other users, username and password. See, log into contoso.com. Different ways you can log in. @contoso.com like this. You can give like this. Or you can give like this. Okay. Or give name because it's already part of the domain. It is showing login to some. You're not logging to your computer. You're logging to the domain. So domain. So now the information sent to domain controller. Domain controller authenticate this user and authorize the user to access this system. Now you got authenticated and asking for a changing of password. Click OK. Then you must change the password. Because first time given a common dummy password. So user should not use the same password. In some organization enforces to change the password immediately when they log in for a first time. Okay. Your password change is successful. Now it is went for authorization. You got authorization. You are able to log into your PC. First time you are login, your user profile will be created in the client system. You log into any computer for first time you are logging. It can be your normal individual computer or maybe a domain computer. First time you are logging, user profile will be created. What is user profile? Under C users with your username, a folder is created. In that folder, It will create like this desktop folder, downloads folder, okay, pictures, videos, documents, those kind of folders will be created inside your C drive. See users under your users, your with your username. These are created. These are your profile data. You created some data on your desktop. Where it is stores? See user, your username. In that one desktop folder, your data is stores. Okay. Now the profile is created. It's readying everything. Yes. Successfully we log into our system. So which user? I didn't create this user in this system. Where I created? In the server only. Okay. You can check different ways like control panel, settings, different ways. Go to control panel, user accounts, user accounts. See, user account, Contoso slash. Okay, Contoso is a domain name, so there is a username, and so where is the domain? This is domain controller. Yeah, here if you see configure advanced user profile properties, there also it will shows Contoso slash username. Okay, meaning this user is belong to that one. Lot of other things also there, like a group policy I can able to show you. Guys, understand the concept, domain and client concept. The group PC. And these users you create, you will create the users here and you log in this user with this system. Means username, password, stores here. There are local accounts. So they can able to log into the system. The system will authenticate. Here, this is the domain user, domain computer. Only domain users can log into this computers. These users can log into this computers. This is another user. These are three other users. These users can log into this computer. Okay. Accounts. See, username, Contoso slash, but actual computer name is C1. Okay. Yeah. Guys, understand the concept or not? Domain controller, domain computer, domain user. Are you understand these three differences? No one is. Yeah. Tell me. Understand, not at all understand, somewhat understand. Yeah, you can do other works, guys. Please give some 10-15 minutes of attention. Because this is direct one question. To make you understand this question, I'm showing all these things. Okay. Nothing, no response.
So tell me in a single line, sir. Please,
You tell me.
please explain once again
But
in simple way.
here it is. This is a domain controller. Here is our picture. Domain controller it is. Domain controller name. Here it is WinS1. Okay. Domain computer name is WinC1. So where I created a user in domain controller, right? Server means here I created a user domain controller. If you see in the computers, this is a domain computers means our domain controller knows about a domain computer and domain users information stores in domain controller. Point number 1. 2. This is a domain computer. This is a domain computer. Domain computer means it is a part of let it show properly. Okay. Yeah, about your PC. So domain, it is a domain computer. Domain computers. It is Windows 10 Enterprise Edition. Okay. It's a domain computer, a desktop system. So that's a computer name. And this computer, domain computer, is a part of this is a domain computer. This computer is a earlier workgroup system. Now it is a part of domain. Means it's joined into the domain. So it is domain computer. So which domain it is joined? Conteso.com. My domain controller domain name is Conteso.com. Means both are in the same domain. Domain computer, domain controller are in the same domain. Good. So the domain computer is a member of a domain. Second one. Now, again, where we created a user in the domain controller, where we log into the domain in domain computer. In domain computer, we log in. We didn't create this user in the domain computer. In this computer, we didn't create this account. We didn't create a account in the computer. Where we created in the server. Where we log in the client system. Simple. So there is, you got a confusion. I understand that confusion. Even sometimes I will confuse when I'm telling also. Domain controller, domain computer. So small computer controller, nearby confusion is there. So what I will do again, you see, this is a client system, right? Windows 10 client. This is server, server. Okay, domain controller is a server. Windows 10 is a client system, client. In server, we created a user account. In client, we log into the with that user account. Simple. When you log into the user account in the client system, who is going to authenticate? Your server will authenticate the user, not client system. Why? The server has a user information. Server has a user information. So server will verify your user and your password, authenticate and authorize the user. Okay. That's it, that part. Yeah. Now understand server, client, user. Any confusion is there, guys?
Okay, sir.
Okay. The confusion mainly because of domain computer, domain controller. Okay. That confusion is there. Okay. Very good. 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 Yeah, one more I can able to show, that is called group policy settings. It's already 5:30. I'm going to tell this Active Directory, then we close it. What is Active Directory? It's a most commonly asked question. Okay. So what to tell as an answer? We know the domain controller, what the first thing is. We know the domain controller part, right? Where are we? A domain controller, as I said, it is a server, right? See, domain controller. Remove it. That's not the part here. It is. This is a Windows server. Windows server belongs to Microsoft, right? Windows server belongs to Microsoft. Okay. So the server versions again I will tell. Okay, 2000 version onwards. Okay, Windows Server 2000 version onwards. This is a story. Microsoft Windows Server. It is server OS. In this one, we install Active Directory. Role. It's a built-in role. We install Active Directory role. Okay, and configure it. Install Active Directory role and configure it. The server as domain controller means how this domain controller is created. First, you need a Windows server. 2000, 2003, 2008, 2012, 2016, 2019, 2022, 2025. Okay. You take a server, install Active Directory role. Okay. You install a Active Directory role or AEDS role. Then configure the server as a domain controller. Now, this machine is become domain controller. The machine is become domain. What domain controller is doing it? It provide Active Directory services. Okay, Active Directory services. It provide Active Directory based services. What services we call it as directory services. Active Directory services it will provide. What are those directory services? One is Active Directory database service. Another one is authentication and authorization services. What are the Active Directory services? One is Active Directory services, means Active Directory database. Another one is authentication and authorization. We discussed about domain controller, right? Right. Yeah. Who is domain controller? Our server is domain controller. How it is become domain controller? You install AD or ADDS role and configure it. It's become domain controller. It's a Windows server, Microsoft related service it is. Active Directory provide two services, directory services. Active Directory database. What is in the domain controller? As we discussed earlier, in domain controller, we have a database. That is what we called Active Directory database services. Two services, AD database, stores, users, groups, computers, and resources information. Another services, authentication and authorization services. When user log into the domain computer, who is going to authenticate? Domain controller. It is our Active Directory service. Okay, who is going to authorize the user to access the resources is your domain controller only, means your Active Directory service only doing that one. Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's a point. Once again, we'll see. Guys, you got this question. What is Active Directory? Active Directory, you can tell different ways. You can start from any corner, no problem. So one way it is, we'll see this first lines one by one. This is point number one. Sorry, this is point number one, point number two, point number three. Okay, 3 points. First point. So point by point, tell guys. Don't mix the points internally. Okay, you can pick up any point first. No, point by point. Second point, you can keep it aside. First and three, you can tell first. Okay, 1, 3. First point, Active Directory provide directory services. Active Directory database and authentication and authorization services. Fine. Active Directory database stores identity of users, groups, computers, resources, information. Active Directory authenticate users when they log into the domain computer and authorize the user to access the domain computer. That is a point number one. Last point in the point one, last line, I said it is Active Directory authenticate users when they log into domain computer, authorize the user when to access the domain resources or domain computer, right? You can short it also. Active Directory authenticate the users when they log into domain computer, or Active Directory authenticate the users. Active Directory authenticate domain users. You can more simplify, no problem. But you should understand complete one. In case there is a cross question, you can able to tell. But your presentation in your hand. Okay, what is your capabilities? That is your hand. So that is the first point. Active Directory, directory services. Active Directory provide directory services. Active Directory database service, Active Directory database service, and authentication and authorization services. Authentication and authorization services. Active Directory stores identity of users, groups, computers, and resources. Active Directory authenticate users when they log into the domain or domain computers or accessing domain resources. Active Directory authenticate and authorize the users. Active Directory authenticate and authorize the users when they log into the domain computers. First point. Second, Active Directory database. Database. Yes, database means it's a file, right? It contains the information. Database is a file. Database file contains database means information. What is the file name here? NTDS.DIT. Active Directory database file name is NTDS.DIT. New Technology Directory Service Directory Information Tree. What is the Active Directory database file name is NTDS.DIT. Active Directory Authentication Protocol. So database authentication, two, right? So authentication protocol are Kerberos and LDAP protocol. KERBROS, Kerberos. Port number is 88, LDAP port number is 389. So Kerberos and LDAP protocol for authentication. Point number 2. Okay, now point number 3. This third point you can tell in the starting also. What is an Active Directory? You can tell third is the first one and first one is the second one. You can add after one, you can add second one, or you can skip the second one also. No problem. In NTDS.DIT, sometimes at the time of interview time, you may not able to recollect it. Don't struggle. Don't struggle. Try to remember. You can't able to recollect it. Just skip it. No problem. If they specifically ask, so definitely you have to tell. That's the point. Okay. That's it. Compulsory read it, practice it. But at the time of interview, you are unable to recollect it. Just skip it. No problem. Again, what is an Active Directory? Is a Microsoft service. Active Directory is introduced in Windows Server 2000. Active Directory name change it to Active Directory Domain Services. Active Directory Domain Services. AD and ADDS both are same. In Windows Server 2000 and 2003, it is called a Active Directory. The service name is Active Directory. In 2008 onwards, in 2008, 2008 R2, 2012, 2012 R2, 2016, 2019, 2022, 2025. It is Active Directory Domain Services. Active Directory architecture contains forest, tree, child. Forest, tree, child. But that is a extra point. Mhm. Originally, we do not have a time. So to explain this one, generally, I will explain this concept also. What is NT server? What is PDC, BDC, SAM account, and NTLM? What is this forest, trust? All these things, usually I will explain it. But importantly, we are concentrating on what is an Active Directory, what is work group, and what is domain. Difference between work group and domain. What are the different servers in generally? Okay. What is the different servers? So, eh, so what to tell, guys? This is third point, right? Active Directory is a Microsoft service introduced in Windows Server 2000. Okay, from Windows Server 2000 and onwards, the Active Directory name is changed to Active Directory Domain Services. Active Directory provide uh, two directory services. One is Active Directory Database and Authentication and Authorization Services. Active Directory Database stores identity of users, groups, computers, and resource information. Active Directory authenticate users when they log into the Active Directory authenticate and authorize the users when they log into the domain computers or accessing domain related resources. Active Directory database name is NTDS.DIT, New Technology Directory Service Directory Information Tree. Active Directory authentication protocols use Active Directory use authentication protocols like Kerberos and LDAP. So this is what is Active Directory. Okay. Practice for presentation, guys. How to tell? Yeah, last point. It's not fine. So you have to add a client to domain. You have to add a client to domain, right? Which client? Microsoft systems. Mainly, we can add our client system to domain is Microsoft system only. In Microsoft desktop operating system, you can add Windows 8, Windows 7, Windows 11, Windows 10, anything. But thing is, it must be Pro or Enterprise editions only. The Windows operating system with the home editions, we can't join into the domain. Which editions we can't join? Home editions. Okay. Home editions, we can't join into the domain. You must require Pro or Enterprise. For example, my laptop is Pro, Windows 11 Pro. Okay. The desktop I showed, that is a Windows 10 desktop, that is Windows 10 Enterprise. Okay. So, but the client that should not be home editions. And make sure that is your client and domain controller must be communicate each other, and your client system must be Pro or Enterprise. If you are using Windows desktop version of operating system, you want to join into the domain. then it must be Pro or Enterprise Edition, not a Home Edition. Okay. Guys, understand what to tell about an Active Directory. I need a confirmation. Hmm? Guys, understand what to tell about an Active
Yes, sir.
Directory. Very good. That's it for today. So you can leave after 5-10 minutes. I'm also ending the meeting. Okay. So meet you on Monday, and Asko sir is also waiting for your version to prepare for your version. So you take some half an hour in between, go through what we have discussed today, yesterday, day before yesterday, what are you want to see. Check at least 1/2 an hour daily about a technical thing, and give today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, you have a time, prepare for your version, guys. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So
Okay,
thank
sir.
you. Thank you. Be happy weekend. Bye bye. You can leave. I will end the meeting after some time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.